Cool. So I guess we could just do the player introduction really quick. You can say like your tag, where you're from, how long you've been playing, and your goals for the game.
Yeah. I'm Colm. I'm from Michigan. I'm like a mid-level player, I'd say. Uh, and I mean, I'd like to get better. I'd like to eventually, I think a solid, I guess concrete goal I can think of is getting like good enough to be like state PR, like that good. But I
Mm-hmm.
just want to focus on becoming the best player I can, I guess. Um,
So by mid
yeah.
level, like how would you say you do at your locals, or like how do you usually
Um,
do at your locals?
I'm pretty okay. I live in like a small sub-region of Michigan, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like on like the sub-region PR, and I like do like pretty decently at the locals, but when I go to like the bigger Michigan events, I'm like a 2-2 or 3-2 or there.
Okay.
So
Like
it varies.
have you ever taken like a set off of like a state ranked player?
I have like one win, and I've been
Okay.
playing the game for like 4 years.
Okay.
I've been playing like Smash for like 10 years, but Melee specifically for like the past few.
Okay. That helps. Okay, sounds good. And what are we gonna be going over today?
So this was a local I went to yesterday, actually. Um, this is me. I'm a Fox, and the Falco player is Wooly. They are. I've played them a lot, and I have never come close to beating them. I think this is just a struggle problem matchup for me in general. I feel like it's like every Fox player's problem matchup, but um, I really there it's definitely one that I haven't been able to overcome, and I don't know if there's like an angle to it I'm missing, or like
Okay.
I don't know if I have a very good path in sight as to how to overcome it.
Okay. And
Um,
what is how does it feel like if you play this player? Like how would like a set normally go that you would lose from your
um,
perspective?
it's actually kind of funny because we had two sets and it felt like both of them went like the two varieties of how it would go. I felt like the
Mm.
winners finals I played was like a pretty competitive set, but I still lost, but it felt like I was able to like move and get some stuff in, but Falco kind of was able to do Falco things and just blow me up when they won neutral. And then Grands was just like I felt like I couldn't move. It felt like it was probably like a 6 minute best of three. I just got super blown
Mm-hmm.
up. So it feels like I don't really have much of a, I guess, consistency or maybe a good idea of how to overcome it.
Okay. I can keep that in mind. Is the stream working for you? The Discord stream?
Yeah, it works perfectly.
Okay, cool. I'll just take a look at this for a second. Is this the first game?
Yes, we started
Okay.
doing one.
I'm just clicking them in order from the zip file, so
Yep.
hopefully it is. Okay, I'm actually kind of impressed. This is a fast, this is a fast combo. The way you were talking, I was not expecting a combo like this to start
Oh,
off. Okay.
I appreciate it.
Sheesh.
I remember this set being very silly at times, like very back and forth.
I was like, let's take a look at the set, and it just starts off with like this Dragon Ball Z like back and forth like super
Yeah,
combo one way, instant reversal, zero death the other, and it's like, oh okay, okay.
yeah, it gets
That was
very
crazy.
wonky at times, but I think there are more
So
chill
like,
moments.
yeah, there's not too much to like see here in like this first stock. I
Hmm.
think one thing is I'll say is like I think that in general grabbing like this is not super good. I think it's typically better if you're going to whiff punish Falco landing that drill is the best option. So you want to practice being able to short hop drill the landing rather than grabbing it. The
Uh,
What's up?
yeah, sounds good. Sorry. No, I was just kind of thinking about it. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Okay,
Sorry.
and no, you're good. Mostly the reason for it is that the drill obviously is like less committal, whereas like if you do the grab and they drift back, it's not good. The drill, like first of all, like you can kind of react. Um, it's like if you try to do like a pivot grab versus like a dash back drill, you have a little bit of more of control over like, oh, I confirmed that they're in the spot where I wanted them to be, so I fast fell, and then or versus like they're actually a little further away than I thought because they drifted back slightly, so I didn't fast fall, and that got me a little bit more distance to like finish hitting the down air or whatever.
That makes a
And
lot of sense.
if they land and they instant spot dodge, the drill a lot of times will still hit them, which is really good. And if they keep shielding, short hop drill or just like drill in general is like pretty good shield pressure against Falco. Depending on the spacing, you could either slightly space outside of the shine range or just time like a shine. Like Falco's perfect. So like Fox's down air has like slight variation, in like its shield pressure timings depending on whether there's
Yeah.
like a gap in the hit or not. And like basically Falco has to be like pretty tasked to like hit the shine out of shield if you're right on time with your shine. And
Okay.
because you control the fast fall timing, it's very difficult for Falco to like consistently shine out of shield Fox drill. Plus there's like the spacing and stuff like that. So it's overall it ends up as like a move where, if you land the drill, most of the time you can get either like a grab or a wave shine into like a tech chase. So it's pretty close to like the level of like a grab, like what you'd get out of a grab. I do think that like there's a certain point where you can work back in the grab into spots where you're the most certain of exactly where they're gonna land. But in a spot like this, I feel like uh, they could very easily drift back here with a down air slightly, and it potentially cause you to like whiff, or you could go backwards here, and they could have landed here with a laser, and then get like a dash grab out of the laser or something and throw you off. So
Okay,
it's
that
just
makes a lot of sense.
so it's just a little scary to go for a grab in a spot like this, but it's something eventually you'll be able to do. But for now, I'd say focus a lot harder on doing like drills out of those.
No, I really appreciate that.
Okay, and I'm assuming this was an accidental short hop up air.
I need to see it again.
Yeah, no worries. This one.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. And with Falco's recovery, I think that sort of like when you throw Falco off the stage ever, you're going to have to make like a gamble. Not necessarily a gamble, but you're going to have to just straight up guess like most of the time. If Falco is
Okay.
really far from the stage, obviously you can cover everything. But and even in a spot like this, you might have been able to cover a decent amount. Uh, but sort of the key is that you're going to have to make a guess anyway. And if you were gonna make a guess, doing it in a way where you can never get reversaled is usually better.
Okay.
This is
Yeah,
another
that's
one
a
of those cases where like the jump out shine is pretty good, but it needs to be a capitalization on like a habit where like or like a conditioning where you're like, okay, I always make some set of like 3 reads on stage or whatever. Like a lot of times you can do either short hop nair or grab edge or like act like you're gonna grab ledge and shield, something like that. Like you have some set of mix-ups on the stage. Kalindi also has a mix-up where he'll do like short hop, like he acts like he's gonna try to back air it, and then he'll wave land immediately to edge instead of back airing.
Oh yeah.
There's like a few
Yeah.
little mixes that you can do there. But like when you go out to do the shine, it's basically like if you're right, that's great, and he dies. And if you're wrong, you could potentially get super reversaled and like be stuck off
Yeah.
stage, which is what happens. And it's like you're gonna have to make a guess anyway, and if you guess right, Falco usually dies. Like if you
Yeah, that's
make some
true.
guess on stage and you hit him, he's just gonna die anyway.
Yeah, that resonates. I definitely am thinking about all the times I throw myself off stage to edge guard
And
and get side B killed or
if
down air
you're
killed.
not going to like basically if you're not gonna get knocked down by the down air so that you can tech here, you usually there. So technically you're just dead here, like for sure you're just dead right here.
Yeah.
But um, you can sort of I'll just say as like a general rule, if you're here and you're not gonna be able to tech, you want to go at like the widest angle here you can, or like the not the widest angle, but the furthest away from ledge.
Got
Uh,
it. Okay.
Basically, it forces Falco to do a shine turnaround down air to hit this, and if you do it even further out, it causes him to have to like shine turnaround jump outwards down air, and he can't do that right now because you're at too low of a percent where you get to up B again after one more down air. So he
Oh,
actually
okay.
can't like drift out all the way and like not suicide down air, but like do the down air so that he has to like up B afterward. So he's kind of like locked to this position, and so just generally the Falco like this Falco in this particular position refreshed at the right time at a really good time. Like they got this late refresh. But if
Yeah.
they have a slightly earlier refresh, it gets even more annoying to cover this because they have to hold the shine for a little bit to react to get the turnaround down air here on this wide up B. And so, like, potentially, if they have to hold the shine to wait to react to this, then the times where you do decide to go in at some point, maybe you'll get a stage spike on them holding shine. But typically, you want to just go wider a little bit. Like right here, when you get hit, right here, you can just go straight up. It's a little bit better just because them doing basically this option where they just do double jump down air from edge and drift back to stage will miss every time. And so you at least get some mix up and you don't allow them to just execute like the easiest thing in their entire kit to kill you.
Yeah.
And you,
No,
you
that
make
makes
it back
sense.
off of their mistake, but like it's still just generally something to keep in mind is that it's a lot harder for them to cover this angle.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I appreciate it.
And yeah, that just happens afterward. Like,
Yeah.
and so it's like you did a great combo, overcommitted on the edge. Like the setup you did and stuff into the combo, really really good. No problems at all with that. Then you get them off stage, overcommit for the edge guard, and then get reversal. And it's like okay, a lot of times that's what this matchup comes down to. It's
Hmm.
like surprisingly effective in this matchup to play like worse but not get reversaled than like like a lot of times instead of getting like a perfect tech chase or something like that, like a reaction tech chase, you can just get something where like instead of like let's say you get like a miss tech and you go for like a crouch tech chase or something like that. Sometimes in this matchup, instead of going for the crouch tech chase, just like running shine nair or something versus like the uh, mistech, and like you can set up something like better out of it where there's a 0% chance of you getting reversaled, and even if you do mess up and they happen to somehow avoid the mistech situation out of like shine, then you're just not in a bad spot. And I'm not saying that that's like the way you should play all the time, but just as like a
Yeah.
general rule, to not
No,
be
it's a good.
reversaled is the best thing you can get.
That's a good angle that I haven't thought of too much. I guess that I should.
Okay, let's see. That's good. Okay, this nair is fine. This nair is fine. I think Falco's at knockdown percent. You're at low percent. It makes sense. I like this reaction here with the shine a lot. And you kind of get reversaled again, even though you don't go for the grab here. Uh, it's like looks like you go for a back air after the tech chase. Yeah, you get reversal.
Yeah.
Yeah, typically you're gonna want to DI. You're either so when you get hit by Falco in like a situation like this, your first thought upon getting hit here is can I slide off the shine anywhere? So the best escape from Falco's pillar combos is always it's not always available, but like the overwhelming most common and best option to escape pillars is to slide off DI a shine on a platform where they
Okay.
so you kind of want to like direct yourself into a spot where you can do that if possible. It's not always easy. I panic during this too, but if you can, you want to like make the second down air hit like right here and then DI out on the second shine to slide off DI. And it has this big payoff because when you do it, you're just like, okay, I'm safe. Like Falco cannot punish that slide off DI at all. And mostly just relies on the fact that it's really, really hard to, like, in the moment, be like, oh yeah, of course I'll set it up. But you should be looking for that position, like, very primarily. And then if you can't get that position, you definitely need to be DIing to get onto the platform. Like, it's either slide off on the platform or get up here. Because otherwise they're just going to do some combo where they combo you low to the ground and then hit you off stage. And it's pretty hard to recover against a good Falco.
Yeah, I feel like my disadvantage is pretty whack. I kind of just panic. I don't know if I SDI correctly. I just try to SDI away and hope I live, but I don't know if I have a very good game plan versus it.
Okay. Yeah.
So that is appreciated.
Yeah, you can also do, like, right here. So in this position, you should SDI this down. SDIing down here is really, really good. I don't know if you've seen like the whole escape where you SDI down and it like not locks you to the ground, but you get like an empty land and then you can punish this.
Okay, I'm not familiar. I'll have to.
Okay, yeah, it's basically like around like it's after 10% but before knockdown percent. If Falco does a down air, like for Falco to do this combo consistently from the Falco end, what you have to do is you have to do like right here, you need to hit this down air pretty early. And if they wait till like here and you SDI down, it's just basically some weird knockback property where based on the amount of knockback it does, if you SDI it down, you like get to the ground before it really starts or something. I actually don't know like why it physically works like that. But if you SDI this down, like the second down air, a lot of times you can actually get out.
Okay, that's great to know.
Those are kind of, and you'll see it happen in like pro matches. There's this clip of Mango Leffen from like forever ago. Like it might have been like the America Chant set or whatever from that one tournament. Like it was a really long time ago, and Mango does like a combo to Leffen, and there's this exact spot, and Mango does like a nair instead, and Leffen like teleports down out of the nair, and Mango finishes the combo just because instead of doing the down air here, he read that Leffen would SDI down and gets the nair.
That's interesting.
So it's just something to keep in mind. Those are like kind of like the two basic counterplays for Falco combos.
No, I appreciate it. That's awesome.
And I say two basic counterplays, but those are the two counterplays. If you can't get either of those, it's over.
No, that's fair. I'll have to lab that. No, I really appreciate it.
I actually really like this. I think this was actually a super good edge guard. I think a lot of times people aren't comfortable doing this stall, including like really good players, where like this to beat like the shorten, but you're safe from like the side B and stuff like that. I actually really like that. Like, I gotta definitely do that more. Okay. Nice. I like the back of there. One thing is the Falco is playing way too close to you on ledge. Like, they shouldn't be able to do this. This should be, like, this is just like a tech skill work on your ledge dashes thing.
Okay.
But, like, Falco against you on the ledge as Fox should have to play, like, right here with lasers. Like, it should
Okay.
not feel like Falco has any pressure here at all. You can do you can do ledge dash full hop nair to like center and stuff like that, or like you can do a lot of stuff. I would say probably avoid doing stuff like ledge dash turnaround up tilt and stuff like that. Ledge dash turnaround up tilt is basically what you do when people keep doing this. Like, eventually you just ledge dash up tilt them and you take their stock and you're like, okay, cool, thanks. But typically, and you can do the full hop nair, but typically the best option that you should repeat 95% of the time is just ledge dash JC shine. So you do ledge
Okay.
dash JC shine waveland to center, and you're all the way in center. It's just Falco doing this. It should just literally be like, all this is guaranteed win for Fox if Falco's standing that close to the ledge. And you kind of just want to ledge dash every time, like right here, if you can, just ledge dash. Even if you don't need, like, I'm not saying like, oh, get the punish right here perfectly. Like, Falco missed this. Like, getting the ledge dash here is definitely great. The drill and stuff, I guess maybe in this spot it looks like you can get like a nair or something like that, but like double jump aerial right there, stuff just goes wrong really easily, and it's really like, even if you like nair them or something, they'll just hold down and slide over here, and you won't really get like a punish or something. Really, like this matchup in particular, I think if a Fox doesn't have good ledge dashes, it just feels too easy to trap them in the corner as Falco. And then when they have really good ledge dashes, suddenly it feels like putting them in the corner is almost like an advantage for them, because you can just they can just go to ledge and then zoom off the ledge. So that's actually like a pretty important point in the matchup to hit. Okay, a little bit of a gamble there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so something to keep in mind in this matchup that's very important on both sides is that if one player is at a really high percent, for example, like this type of situation,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of need to assume that it'll take a while. But you get to do
Yeah.
it back also. So, like, the advice that I give the Falcos is if Fox goes up to like 120, 130%, you just add an extra minute to the match clock. Like, that is like basically because like if Fox is at really high percent, they can play in this way where it's really tough for Falco to actually make something happen. And a lot of times it sort of just becomes a much slower neutral. Uh and it's true vice versa. Like if I am Falco in this situation, I am like desperately hoping that the Fox tries to get in on me, because I'm going to just run away, and I'm going to make it hard to hit me, and I'm hoping to get some sort of opening out of that. So
Okay.
if they end up at high percent, uh just like accept that generally it should be patient. If you're also at high percent, accept that it should be pretty patient.
Got it.
Whereas like it's not like, well, they're really at this high percent, so I gotta get rid of them. It's like, no, they made it to the high percent. I failed to get the actual kill. Like, if Falco is at like 20, a lot of times it can feel more like you're ready to kill them because you're ready to do your big combo, and so there's this big payoff for like hitting them. But at these percents, you need the kill, and any other hit is just kind of like empty. And so like your moves will destroy them if it hits them. Like a back air or something at this percent will generally kill Falco, but they're just gonna try really hard to get like basically that shine reversal. Like, yeah, look at, like, if I'm the Falco, I'm like not gonna interact here. I'm like, oh, I'll just get out of the way and hope that Fox gives it to me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And
It's
they
definitely.
actually go in more here than I would. I'd be running away. You'd be very annoyed.
I was definitely thinking about, or was feeling frustrated about high percents
Mm-hmm.
in the matchup. So that makes That's a
Yeah,
better way,
it's
I
it's
think, to
on
look at
both
it.
sides too, where it's just like, no, it's just impossible to kill each other at high percent. You just gotta like
Yeah.
really slow it down. A small thing to note, and it's more relevant on the Falco end, so you might have to be a little bit more aware of it on defense when you're at high percent than offense. But it's important on both sides that like roughly above 125, it's like slightly different on Fox and Falco. Usually it's like 127, no matter like for sure above 127. Jab knocks down for both of them,
Okay.
and so like as soon as they pass that threshold, this is true in the Ditto too. As soon as they pass the 127 threshold, jab becomes like the best move in your kit, basically, because it guarantees like a kill if you land it.
Awesome. That's good to know.
And so you don't want to just be like super over jabbing, right? But like it becomes one of your super strongest tools.
Oh
It's
yeah.
essentially like a kill move. So instead of trying to like up smash them a lot of times, you can just jab them and then get the kill afterward. And it just helps because they're looking for you to make a big overcommitment, you know.
Mhm.
Um, I don't really know what this run-in was here. That back air does work a lot, like so from the Falco ends, so I get it. Okay. This Falco is definitely they're picking up like what they get. You know, like pretty much every time they've found something, they've like punished pretty hard off of it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so this is like that other thing where like when Falco sort of like how should I describe it? Down air is like the only aerial you should be thinking about.
Yeah.
Like
That
the
makes.
other, yeah. What's up?
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I saw like all those whiffed grabs on aerial.
The
Down
it's
air
just
moves.
even this nair you do here, like where you like do like this nair should be a drill. It should be
Yeah.
like you should be like drill brained.
Yeah,
Like
that's what I'm
both
thinking.
short hop, like the short hop is really good and the full hop, and if you mix them up, even better, you know. And it's just like it doesn't get CC'd, like they can't CC it, like they're gonna be like a lot of times versus Falco, the type of spot you're gonna end up playing is a post landing mix up. Like you either get this super idealized like, oh, they're about to land, I can get in when they're about to land, hit them as they land during their lag, and get a free opening. That's like the idealized situation that you kind of
Yeah.
like. It would be great if they gave me that. But like if you're playing like a really, really good Falco player, a lot of times they're not going to give you those, at least all the time, super easily. And so a lot of times you're going to end up playing like a post landing mix up on Falco, where Falco does this landing and it's like, okay, are they gonna shield? Are they gonna up tilt in place? Are they gonna jump again? Like, what are they going to do? And in general, against that landing mix up and any sort of timing mix up you play out of it, drill is just like overwhelmingly the answer. Every other move is super secondary. I think past CC percent, past maybe 25 or 30, I don't know the exact percent, but past like a decent amount, up air is like if you can, it basically becomes okay. Am I pressuring Falco? Like I said, like the post landing mix up, then down air. And am I getting a guaranteed hit? Then up air. Like at 0%, Falco can CC the up air, and so
Yeah.
you don't want to be doing it as super low. That's a big mistake a lot of foxes make, is they find out about up air and they're like, ooh, and then and then Falco just crouch cancels it at low percent and they get shined and they're like, oh no. And so like the up air is great for covering guaranteed options at a slightly higher percent, but the drill should be like, you should be basically running around like, I'm gonna drill him. I'm gonna move around the platforms. Eventually, I'll land a drill. Like that should be kind of like on your
Got it.
mind.
Interesting. That's good. That's a. You contextualized it well. Thank you.
Because the nair is sort of like an answer to like a very specific type of position, which is that like Falco lasered you and you're close enough that you think you can nair in to prevent another laser. That is like basically the only real short hop nair position in this matchup. Is like dash into first laser, dash into dash out of the first laser with like a short hop nair or something like that. The full hop nair you were doing where like Falco's at knockdown percent and you're like if Falco's at knockdown percent and you're doing those full hop nairs to get the weak nair knockdown, those are also really good. So you don't so those are totally fine. But it's more so like at the lower percents especially the drill is everything.
God.
And
I forgot about that.
one thing, another good rule to keep in mind is that if this is actually a great rule for like the majority of the game against almost every character, is if you are in shield, like let's say they put you into shield like this, if you have an instant short hop drill out of shield, like let's say somebody overcommits big on you and you can get either a shine out of shield or the shine barely doesn't hit, so you're able to get like a drill out of shield, short hop approaching drill out of shield, then that's pretty much like your limitations of attacking. You do not want to try to hit Falco out of a full hop out of your shield. You should basically like remove that from your brain entirely, because you don't have the added mix-up of a dash here. That's basically it. Is that if Falco has to calculate for a potential dash full hop, which is, you know, if you calculated all the angles of Fox's dash full hop, it's just like a million like bombs landing at every point around the map. Like Fox can go anywhere with the dash full hop, but these full hops out of shield, there's like Falcos have basically like honed for years punishing Fox full hop drilling at that angle because there's no extra drift option. So it's really easy for them to calculate like exactly how far forward you can drift. And so from a position like this, if you do full hop, you should keep in mind that this is a defensive full hop. You can pretend like you're going to attack with it, because a lot of times Falcos will bite, because they'll be like, ha, you're going to do the easy thing that lets me punish it. And you can just be like, no, I will full hop, pretend I'm going to land on you, double jump away, full hop to side plat, something like that. The aggression out of it is pretty much always like an overcommitment, and the Falcos are always ready. If you're a Fox who will give me full hop out like into this or whatever, like I'll just do that 15 times, you know, call it a day.
Yeah, I need to be more conscious of that.
Okay. Yeah, this happened a second time, and so this is sort of like, so you remember how I was saying that there's like the landing mix-up that you're gonna play when Falco lands? So this is one of those landing mix-ups where Falco lands right here, boom, and you're playing this like, okay, I'm coming in after landing type of thing. So what you're gonna do most of the time, so like think of it from the Falco perspective too. Fox is too fast. Falco cannot from this position like retreat on the ground or anything like that. Falco's kind of stuck here, and so it's sort of like you're fighting a Peach, where Falco is. There are some escape options Falco could like roll or like full hop, kind of, but it's pretty dangerous for Falco in general here. Let me think of the best way to describe it. So you want to think of like this position as like not the game, but there's like a whole game in this position, and like the way you are going to get your openings is there's like this is probably like half of how you're gonna get all your openings in the game. Like the other half is probably off of lasers, off of like winning a laser mix-up. And so like
Okay.
if we separate the whole laser mix-up out of the game for now, and we focus just on covering the landing mix-up, think of this as like, okay, this is like a whole game in itself. And so if you keep pulling the trigger on Falco landed, I immediately attack, you're like not putting in the
Giving them the
necessary
game.
work to gather information about how they deal with that position and the way they're dealing with it at this current moment. So
Yeah.
like the majority of the time you are in a position like this covering the landing. So really quick, there's something that I basically tell the Falco players. There's a lot of parallels in these matchups, but when I tell the Falco players against the Fox players is that Fox is going to full hop aerial 10 times. And 9 of those times you will simply go about your business and not interact. And 1 of those times you will punish it. And what that means is that, you know, most of the time when they do this action that, like, could create an opening, potentially could create an opening, you don't actually want to try to hit them for it. Like, most of the time when Falco lands like this, you do not want to actually genuinely force the interaction by, like, actually running all the way in and trying to hit them.
Okay.
Most of the time, you want to do a fake. Like, most
Yeah.
of the time, you want to run here, go to the platform. You want to full hop. You want to bait something. The thing is, people are thinking too much here. Oh, I'm gonna full hop, and then if the Falco misses, I'm gonna hit him. This is not like most of the time. You should not be thinking. The Falco doesn't know that. The Falco could think you're gonna try to hit them, but from your end, you should be like, most of the time, I'm not gonna try to actually directly hit Falco here. What you
Yeah.
want is you want to pretend to hit Falco and see what they do and find a specific moment where you feel very confident in making your read on this position. And you can
Okay.
on it like so it'll be like it should happen a few times. Like your main thing here is like just think of it as like, well, this landing mix-up situation happens a lot of times. And so like if you were trying to capitalize on some unrelated to this game interaction in real life that happens often, you would probably like observe how it happens a bunch of times and then make a prediction.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what you want to do. You want to see the position where you could maybe hit Falco and then turn it into a situation where Falco has to react as if you tried to hit them, but you weren't in actual danger of getting hit if they read that option.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, like you
Okay.
want to read what they're gonna do instead of actually forcing
Yeah,
the interaction.
you don't want to overly focus on trying to hit them for every interaction where you can maybe hit them. You want to
Mm-hmm.
focus on like stalemating a lot of these interactions until you feel really confident about exactly what you're going to do. And sometimes maybe you can just get a bait. Sometimes you can just full hop waveland here. You notice that they did this and you run off drill and you get like a free opening off of that, something like that.
Yeah.
And that's that ledge dash position again. Just ledge dash dash JC Shine gets out of that for free. You should okay. So like right here, I've seen it. You go this tech chase like twice. You should just either up smash this or regrab. You have a
Yeah.
combo here.
I get too scared with the platforms, but I need to not do that.
Yeah, I do understand because they have the chance to like di onto the platform and you're kind of waiting for like the tech chase here. It's not an easy
Yeah.
reaction. It's understandable. It was just because I saw it happen twice, whereas it's
Yeah.
not something I would normally see. Okay, good. I like the up air there. That was correct. Make a read. Nice. See, this is that same thing again where, like, here's how you would be really tricky here is Falco goes for this, and then you're like, just kidding, I wasn't going to hit you right here. I was actually either going to, like, you could dash back again or full hop up here and then dodge this and then hit them.
Okay. No, I'm seeing it now. That makes sense.
And so, like, basically, this game. Oh, okay. There we go. Okay.
I don't remember living that many times.
Yeah, I was like, okay. The match is. I was like, the match is over. The match is. Oh, you know. But
Yeah, it was very wacky set at times.
and so yeah, the sum of this whole game was like you overextend a couple times and get reversaled, then your defense on Falco's combos wasn't super great, although that part is low-key like sometimes even though you do all the counterplay, they're still going to kill you, and so that's sort of like an extra credit part of the game, like escaping from Falco's combos. Like, because even if you get really good at escaping them, you play Mango, and you're like, okay, I got zero death again. Anyway, like, it's fine. You just have to kind of accept that they can do it a lot of times.
Yeah.
But, so it was kind of like, okay, so you got reversaled a couple critical times. The defense on the combos wasn't perfect, and then you played a landing mix-up like 3 or 4 times where they landed, the mix-up got created, and you immediately attacked, which gave them a really easy like counter position. And that was this entire game. That was like all that happened. And so it's like pretty simple, like problem-wise, about like what actually happened that game. Let's see. Let's do one more game of winners finals, and then I can check out grand finals.
Sounds good.
But I think that was like pretty clean of like, okay, this is what happened that game. We hopefully can find some more issues to look at this game. That game was like pretty straightforward about the issues. Okay, good grab. This is one of those grabs where I would say like this grab, the fact that you were able to get behind them, which makes it a lot less of a risk of running in on this like, you know, the front part of the down air is harder to run in on type of thing. This felt like a very guaranteed grab, and I think this is totally a good grab. It's fine.
Got it.
Most of the time, I would probably drill here anyway, just because I'm, like, sort of focused on, like, the drill in general. Like, I'm not expecting them to give me such a freebie here.
Yeah.
But if they do give you this freebie, then, like, yes, grab all day.
Mm-hmm.
So quick thing right here, if they ever do a DI that you can't up tilt, but is tricky to grab, all you have to do is dash the other way and then do a grab. Like, you just do a short dash dance this way and then dash back grab.
Okay.
And it just makes the chain grab, like, completely free.
That's good to keep in mind.
And this is... I don't even know if I can apply a general rule specifically to this position, but, like... So, it's tricky because this matchup is basically, like, full of reversals.
Yeah.
And so, it can be very easy to, like, look for too many, basically. Where it's like, the reversals are just happening left and right. So that's a reversal, and that's a reversal. And it's really easy to label a situation a reversal that's not. Where, like, you're, like, right here going for this up tilt, where this is clearly, like, a defensive situation. Like, the way I try to do this matchup is you try to win it without reversals at all. And you just play out of... like, every disadvantage as if you're for sure in disadvantage. Essentially trying not to, like, jump the middle step of, like, I'm in disadvantage, I skip the part where we're even, and I go straight to being at the advantage again, you know?
Yeah, I get
like,
what you're saying.
That, like, generally you wanna avoid that for the sake of, like, practice. Like, for the sake of practicing this matchup, try to never get reversaled at all on your end, even if you leave stuff on the table. And... try to reset every situation where you're losing into a neutral situation. Even though that also leaves some stuff on the table. Because once you're really, really solid at it, then you can work in the reversals as, like, a sauce. Versus, like, they become a crutch so fast in this matchup. Like if you're expecting them and like, okay, yeah, and then I'll get my reversal, and it's like, oh, like it ends up throwing away these really important pieces of the matchup looking for something that like is pretty inconsistent. Great sauce to add later though. Okay, get the grab. Once again, they give you like kind of the freebie grab, which is good. That one was a little scary, but not a huge deal. They're kind of giving the grab to you. Uh, hmm. Trying to think of how to talk about this position. So maybe the best way to simplify it is that if you're sure Falco is going to come in on you, like if Falco is immediately going to approach, like here you're like, okay, you like, it's not like you super react to this laser or anything. You're like pretty sure Falco's coming in right here. The safest thing you can do if there's no platforms is full hop approach. You kind of get this like, we approach each other and break even. Whereas if you like just like if you play the defensive position here, basically your options are like you could have gone to ledge or you're losing this. Like okay. You only win this position like you dashed to a distance where Falco's down arrow like wouldn't hit you anyway. And then shielded. And so you're basically at a disadvantage here no matter what you do. Whereas if you like full hopped or something like that, especially like an approaching full hop, it pretty much like resets the situation to neutral.
Okay, that's good to know.
It's like if you're sure that Falco's coming in and you have no other option, just like approach them back. And a lot of times that's the safest thing to do.
Okay, that's interesting. That's good to know.
And it mostly just becomes even. There's a lot of like we both crossed each other over type of thing. Okay, good. You're going for the full hop nairs. You're going for jabs and stuff. Solid. The like high percent match goes for everything happens a lot less here because there's the platforms. No platforms,
yeah, that makes sense.
This is sort of what I'm talking about, where like obviously they could have maybe down aired you, and this wasn't the full hop I said, but sort of this thing where like Falco's for sure coming in at you, and you just like go like this, you're pretty safe. And if you had like full hopped here, it would have been like the same type of thing.
Okay.
Kind of just like resets. Yeah, like so just to refresh, right here, hit you, boom, right here, SDI down. SDI down on this one as hard as you can.
Got it. Okay, I need to drill that in my brain.
And notice that Falco right here, they're trying to get you to give them that landing mix-up that you kept giving them last game. So they're like, oh, I'm landing. So Fox will come in right here, boom. And then they're like, oh, Fox didn't come in? Maybe this time. And then they're like, okay. And then they're like, all right, Fox didn't come in. That's weird. I'll jump again. And now Fox will come in, boom. And they're just trying to get like this spot that like you've been giving them, you know?
Yeah, it's...
And the thing is it's not super easy to punish these. So, like, you can't really directly punish into this, especially after these up tilts. Like, these up tilts were pretty bad from the Falcos in, but, like, you moved away here, and so it's like, okay, it's fine. You kind of just want to, like, pressure out of it. Like, what you're doing here was fine, but you didn't need to go all... Like, you overcommitted here into the corner. This was actually really good, and then you go all the way in like this, whereas, like, you could have kept chilling and found something else. That's another thing that's really important for this game in general, but I think this matchup kind of, like, exacerbates it. That, like, if you don't see an opening, you shouldn't go in. And it sounds really obvious, but, like...
No, I get what you're saying.
Falco's defense against Fox, when played correctly, is probably the most, like, tight and, like, no openings in the game. It's very hard to get in. So if you don't see an opening... There might not be an opening. Like, I feel like And I'm laughing because I feel like we all fall for it. Fox is just so good at cheating that it's like, oh yeah, like there's not an opening, but like, dude, it's been like 5 seconds. There's got to be one in there somewhere. I must just be missing it. And it's like, no. A lot of times there just wasn't an opening at all. And as long as you're not in danger, nothing has gone wrong. They weren't even like lasering you, you know? Like you can maybe find like an up air in a spot like that, but like you don't need to.
Yeah. That's
like, you know, like, so look at this. You don't go in here. Eventually, they do this bad down air that you just punished them for 3 times in the last stock. Like the backwards facing full commit down air. So if you had just kept dash dancing here, they just eventually give you this. And remember with this, either you see exactly what they're doing, like they committed to this down air and the drift really early. So I would be like, yeah, you could probably just grab this again. But if you were dash dancing here. But let's say you were a little bit farther away and you weren't able to get in right away, this becomes that landing mix-up that we were talking about before.
Yeah.
But yeah, if there's not an opening, if you don't see one, there might just literally not be one. There are significant periods of time in this matchup where there are no openings at all. And they're just not there. And so there's no reason to try to make them when they're not there at all.
Yeah.
And now that you're in, you got like big, okay, nice, boom. And this is what I'm saying. Like if you win the mix up on the edge guard, you kill them anyway. You didn't need to actually get like risk reversal.
Yeah, it's like this. Yeah, no, I.
Okay, great movement.
I shouldn't kill myself off stage.
Your movement and like combos and stuff are definitely like above the level that you said that you were. Like that's something I keep consistently noticing is like it feels like you're somewhat missing the information gathering part of the game like a little bit.
Yeah,
where like
I resonate a little with that. Yeah,
and it feels like if you were like you just don't really have issues with the tech skill and like the combos. Like everybody can do those better, right? But those are like pretty good. Like I would look at your play and be like, okay, like that. Those are definitely like not the weaknesses so far. All of them, like all of your issues, have been like overcommitting in a spot where there's no reason to overcommit, or like playing the most like maybe opening, so I go in and attack right here situation like out. That's basically just been like what's been going on. This is that they get that same up tilt here. And the way to solve this is you just full hop above them. Because then, like, you either full hop above them or do one extra dash dance. Like, you basically, this is just chic forward tilt.
Dude, that leg is so huge.
So you just punish it exactly like you would chic forward tilt. You're like, okay, I can either jump over it or do one extra dash dance here. But they're just doing it. Oh, I'm getting so mad. They're just doing it over and over. Like there's no counterplay to it, and it's because you're not really showing the counterplay to it, you know. But like it's like come on, man.
It makes sense now.
Where's their Falco pride? Okay, drill. And so yeah, this is the other. Like if you land like something like this. And then, like, right here, really tempting to want to go for, like, a grab or something. This is, like, prime drill again territory, you know? Because the drill is just way safer there than going for the grab.
That makes sense. I feel like I fumble in that position a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For some reason right here, this laser... There's something about this laser. This position should be a dash back out of laser, just like every time. It just screams dash back because like if Falco tries to hit you, you can get like dash back, dash in, like approaching aerial or whatever. Like I would say like there's like a secret mix up in this matchup. Not really like a secret mix up, but it's like nobody talks about. Nobody talks about it that much, and it's just if you take laser at around this spacing, and you do, where was it? I think it was slightly past this. If you take laser at around this spacing, and you just do take laser, immediate dash back, like you do short dash back, instant approaching full hop, you'll get, like, it's just like a freebie cheat code to get like 1,000,000 openings against a certain level of Falco. And so I'm not saying that like it should be the go-to forever, but like in a spot like this, like I would say you should be doing that at least a decent chunk of the time. It's really strong. No, you basically did the exact movement right afterward, which is interesting. Like you do this shield here, not good, and then you leave, and then you're like, aha, the mix, like that exact full hop. If you did that out of the laser, you would have been golden.
Okay, that's good to know.
And yeah, I like these full hops too. Like these drift backs, like right here, those are good. They can't really do anything to you. The thing is, okay, let me find the exact spot here to talk about. Like, basically this Falco's up tilting too much. So it's sort of like the thing where I was saying where like on the landing mix up, you gather the info. You're at a point basically like in this set where like the Falco has shown you the info. They are up tilting like after their aerial. And so at the very least, this should be one freebie. You bait out the up tilt, you get your chain grab, you get your one big freebie opening, and then you can decide after that, are they stubborn enough to keep doing the up tilt? Are they going to mix it? You can see the next time, see what they do out of it instead. But like they've basically given you enough info to win the landing mix up at least one time by just making it look like they're going to get the up tilt and then not giving it to them. I like that retreating drill. Definitely go to edge right here. Like right here, go to edge. Just get to the edge immediately.
Yeah, I panicked, I think.
Nice though, I like that. Even though you should just still dash Tracy shine here. Still better. So the back air here, the back air is fine.
Stay grounded, right?
Though it's not that you want to stay grounded. There's something about the angle of it. Okay, I can't fully explain why this back air is not the best. It's if they had down aired here, they would have just beat this. Just it's like the angle you're coming at. But I think jumping up here to act like you're gonna go for the back air and baiting a down air, something like that, is really good here. Okay. The back air wasn't the worst choice, but I think you could have, gone for like a bait there instead. Okay, great read. I really like that. They had nothing they could do there. Shine. Perfect. Grab edge. Okay. And what happens here? Yep, and this is why we don't. This is why we drill here, because drill would have won.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Drill would have won for sure in this position. Same right there. They just can't keep getting away with this. Like, okay, so what I would say is, like, in a spot like this, if they do this up tilt, just bait the second one. Like, just be like, you'll do it, and then punish this right here. Because, like, they just kept throwing out this up tilt in ways that they shouldn't have been able to get away with.
Got it.
Okay, that was good. I really like that. You baited them out there. Drill right there instead, probably, but you're comboing fine. Okay. Small note right here is you can do instant double jump falling back air, falling strong back air, and it'll let you, rather than this one, because it lets you get to the ground faster. It doesn't really matter in this spot, but sometimes it's relevant.
That's good to know.
Okay, you get clean up the back air at the end. Let's see. We're actually basically like an hour already.
Yeah.
That went by really fast. So we could check out the other set, but I feel like in these two games, it's pretty clear what's going on. And I imagine
No.
like the other set is probably like, if I don't know, if you lose confidence in this matchup at all, or you're just playing bad, it can get really rough if you don't have like a clean game plan. And so I can basically imagine that like, if you're not confident hitting these up tilts in this set, that like a set where you're like playing bad and getting reversaled more or whatever would just kind of be like a wash.
Yeah, I'm guessing. I can't exactly remember, but I'm guessing it's just mix-ups and whatnot that I was losing, just being much more dramatic and with a much worse mentality on my end.
Yeah, exactly. Like that definitely does happen.
Yeah.
So quickly to summarize, even though I've gone over it a couple times. Actually, instead of like, why don't you summarize it and I'll see what you have to say about it.
Just like the lesson in general.
Yeah, or like
Yeah.
what you're planning on working on, or like based on this.
I didn't really acknowledge the mix-up like the landing mix-up from Falco, so that's something I can I guess focus on in the game, because I think when I was looking at the replays, like while we were looking, it was just very obvious. I was just trying to like run and punish landing, but now I know that there's like a mix-up to play, and like I'm not really as in a rush to get the hit. Then I think that will help me a lot. I learned about sorry, I'm just buffering in my head. Super high percents in this matchup, how you just kind of got to respect it and not try to force hits, because Falco can just kind of play lame and punish all of them. Ledge dashing at ledge into Nair or into JC Shine is very good, and I get I'm respecting them too much when they're at ledge because they're way too close to me, and I can punish that. Yeah.
That's
Pillar
pretty good.
combos and defense I'm really not good at right now, and I need to look more into that.
Yeah, and that I would say is the most like secondary part. I would say that part is like, you want to sort, like, inevitably you're gonna spend some time getting comboed by Falco, and like, you practice it during that point. But I would say like, don't worry about that part too much. The best Falcos will be able to kill you pretty much anyway, and so like, it's good to have, but the other stuff is more important. One thing I did want to bring up before we end it is that there's what will happen. This will happen to you when you're focusing on dealing with the landing mix-up. Is they will land and they will up tilt, and then they'll land and they'll up tilt, and you'll be like, all right, I've got them now. And then they'll land, and instead of up tilting, they down air you for waiting for the up tilt. And that's like the West Balls. He always used to get me with that. And the thing to keep in mind there is not to doom. What happened there is they are literally just a step ahead because you're trying to learn. So like, they realize that they have up tilted enough times that you would probably catch on to it, and they're already moving on to the next step. And so that just means like, okay, don't worry about it. That just means I need to catch on to the up tilt faster and punish it before they realize that like they're doing it over and over, But I used to try to punish the up tilt, and then that downer would happen, and I would just doom, and I'd be like, see, it doesn't matter what I do. And it was just because I was
broken.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just that I was like slow because I was trying to internalize this concept, and like I was playing too reactively of like, oh yes, I'll punish the 6th up tilt there, and it's like, no, you need to be a little bit more like on point with it. And so just when that happens, just be like, okay, I could just be doing this process like better, but don't like freak out when that happens, basically, because that used to happen to me.
Awesome. No, that makes sense. I'll keep that in mind. I really appreciate it.
I think it was a good lesson. It was fun talking, and
yeah, I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot, and I'm feeling better about the matchup for sure.
Excellent. Awesome. So yeah, you can send me any like clips or questions if you get confused on something, and I'll talk to you later.
Sounds good. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Have a good one.
Yep, have a good one. Peace.
Peace out.